Welcome in. Welcome all, folks. Hey, if you are tuning in from X, it's been a while. It's been a while since I have connected the live stream directly to X. As you can see, I'm using Restream. Shout out to Restream. No, they don't sponsor the show by any means, but hey, if y'all want to sponsor the show, feel free to do so. We are steadily growing. It's fun times here. I've been streaming directly on YouTube, so shout out to all the folks on YouTube that tune into the show. It's been a while since we've been connected here on X, man. Podcast episode is out now, but for those that don't follow the show, I like to do a live stream as well. Boy, oh boy, where do we start? Where do we start with this mess, folks? How about we start in two places? One that has nothing to do with the Carolina Panthers, first of all. How many people saw, and if you don't, I tweeted it during the game. You can go out and watch it now. Just search Jonathan Stewart, as in the Carolina Panther Jonathan Stewart. There's a video of Justin Herbert taking a cheap shot, and Bradley Bozeman, former Panther Bradley Bozeman, center of the Los Angeles Chargers, he goes out and attacks the guy. I mean, gets really pissed off. I can't even tell who it is as I'm sitting here trying to watch. Number 93 of the Saints. Who is 93 for the Saints? We're going to Google it right now. Not 93 Saints season. Let's look on the roster. Who is number 93? My gosh. We're going to find it. Who is number 93 on the Saints? Can we get it right this time? Nathan Shepard. So Nathan Shepard takes a cheap shot at Justin Herbert. Only reason I'm bringing this up is because where was this tenacity and pissed offness, whatever you want to call it, last year? When you had the free play that Bryce Young, there was a dead ball that he throws into the ground. Panthers fans should remember this. He gets smacked. Panthers offensive line just stands there and watches. They don't get up to go help their quarterback. They let him sit there and die. He really died. But where was that? So we're going to start with that. Number one. Then we're going to talk about, speaking of New Orleans Saints, this is not a knock on any New Orleans Saints fan, any Denver Broncos fan at all. Not a knock on y'all. You can't help who your team is, just like I can't help who my team is in the Carolina Panthers that completely suck. Folks, I don't cuss on this show, but there are times where I want to. I freaking hate with all the guts and glory that there is to have on this green earth. I hate Sean Payton. Screw Sean Payton. I'm with JC Horn. So if you have not seen the clip, JC Horn, I just retweeted it. He started running his mouth to Sean Payton at the end of the game. I don't know what Sean Payton said, but that pissed me off. Dude, running fake trick plays like he is on the playground. Folks, don't even start me with this BS about this being the NFL and you got to stop them. No, man. There are unwritten rules in the game of the NFL, just like there's unwritten rules in the game of baseball. Have a little respect. It's going to come back around. Whatever this is in Denver, I hope they lose. And it sucks for the players. I hope they lose every single game they play from here on out. I freaking hate that dude from Bountygate, from that BS that he pulled today, running fake plays, trick plays, passing the ball. Yes, I understand you have to stop it. And then the comments in the post-game presser, shout out to Carolina Blitz. They posted an article about it. If you have not watched it, talking about playing a real team next week, running his mouth about the Panthers. I am so glad we did not get this guy. I am seriously, wait, did I say so mad? I'm so happy. Why can't I talk? I'm so happy we did not get this idiot buffoon, Sean Payton in Carolina. Cannot stand that guy. So it's two folds to this, though. There's two folds. Sean Payton, hate him. What about our head coach? What about Dave Canales? What do we think about him? So, if you are a player on the Carolina Panthers that is a one-win football team that is suffering through the frustrations of this season, and my gosh, they're everywhere you turn. Think about having your head coach. Think about your boss. So think about it this way: like if you had a problem at work, and I guess it's hard to dissect. Maybe it's a vendor that you work with, so they don't work for your company, but it's someone you have to work with directly. Let's say they do some bad things to you. You bring it up to your manager, and your manager just says, "It's okay, guys. Pick your head up. It'll be okay." The hell it will. I understand who Dave Canales is, but I'm getting sick and tired of it. Stand up for your players and your locker room. Don't come at me with some BS in this post-game presser talking about whatever, not running. Yeah, I understand Sean Payton has clout. Sean Payton has wins. You're a rookie head coach. You don't want to step on toes. Step up for your players. Have some freaking balls, dude. Say, yeah, I didn't like it. I don't like guys passing the ball when they're up what they were, running fakes, running trick plays, dancing around on our guys the way they were. Sure, I get you got to stop it. But you, as a head coach and a leader of men, if you want to buy respect, if you want to get respect in that locker room, because it's fading. I'm not saying it's over, but my gosh, dude. I was not happy with that. You can't have the two leaders. Sure, nice guys, maybe they can win in this league. There are a lot of nice guys, but you got to have a little bit of grit. You can't get walked over. You cannot let people walk all over you. And when you have a quarterback with that mentality, speaking of Bryce Young, and you have a head coach with that mentality, a bunch of nice guys, this game isn't meant for that. You got to have somebody who wants to get pissed off and run their mouth, man. I don't know. That really, it did not sit right with me. I know he has to sit down and think through every statement that he has to say and all this. I'm not buying it, man. I'm not. Anyways, let's check up on the chat because I've been rambling away. Vincent says directly on YouTube, why are we so bad? Well, we are so bad for multiple reasons. I tweeted and I said, when are we going to see a competitive football team? And I am being dead serious honest. When? 1 to 2 years, maybe. No, I don't know. 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Are we going to be competitive once Tepper sells the team? Maybe that is what unlocks us. Oh man. I'm so frustrated. How do you call this a rebuild, by the way? How can you rebuild like that? That's like saying everything's been torn down and instead of going out and actually rebuilding, you're using the pieces of the house that already have fallen. And you're like, oh yeah, we're going to rebuild, but we're going to rebuild with scraps and try to put this thing together. In order to have a rebuild, you have to have a foundation. What the heck is the Carolina Panthers foundation? They don't have a foundation. I mean, what are we building towards and for? A quarterback that we can hope for once every 15 games can make a play? Like, that's what we strive for? Oh, man, if our quarterback can throw for 200 yards today, oh, you know what? I'm going to take it down a notch. If our quarterback can throw for 150 yards, 1 touchdown. Do we ever sit back and think about how far we have fallen with our expectations? I know the bar is just as low as it can be, but it's every week. Every week it gets lower. I don't know what to think, man. I did feel a little like halfway decent about Bryce Young playing today, like coming into this. I was like, oh, I haven't been this excited since like week 1. maybe since the preseason when we got to see him. And things are all making sense now. We thought that when we owned the New York Jets in joint practice, that we were set up for success. Oh, that's a freaking joke. New York Jets are completely garbage as well. But hey, guess what, folks? We have got us a matchup next week. New Orleans Saints. You know what? Only two more games. Two more games to go until the bye. And then you'll have a Sunday without Panthers football. Although I believe Sunday without Panthers football is probably in line with a lot of people right now. Season is over. I can't believe the season's over. 1-7. We're at the point in the year, in the whatever, where during the games, the broadcast is spending the entire fourth quarter talking to us and telling us, trying to build up morale and give us moral victories. You just know it's bad. You know it is terrible when you're spending your fourth quarters listening to the broadcast and the radio team. Shout out to the radio folks, Panthers, love them. I feel bad for them more than anything because, like, the national broadcasts, you know what? They get this like in a rotation through Fox and CBS. So maybe the whatever, I know we're at the bottom tier as far as like who we get. We can't even get, we can't even get Greg Olsen, like second tier now. Don't even think about Tom Brady calling one of our games. That's how far down we are. But hey, here's some positive news for Panthers fans. All those 4:00 kickoffs, boom, done. Now we get the pain over at 1:00 on Sundays, back to normal. And then when we go to Germany, even earlier. You got to look at the bright side. Sometimes I can't take myself seriously doing this. You know what, folks? I'm going to plug this too right now. I hate the Carolina Panthers so much that they seriously have drove me insane with content. And so anyways, plugging this right now. If you are a fan of ACC football, I'm going to have ACC content coming out directly on the channel that's on there today. I don't know what you call it. It's not the way you're supposed to do stuff. You're supposed to like have a niche. My niche is the Panthers. But you know what? Screw it. Panthers piss me off so much. I'm still going to create like the schedule I have for the Panthers remains the same. All that's going to be there. I just said, you know what? Let's add some additional content to give myself some sanity, to talk about something positive in the football world for myself. So there you go. Oh, it's rough. All right. That was only one comment. It's time to keep it rolling. Let me get back on track here. What's up, Panther Bo? Egregious play calling. It's so bad. It is so bad. And Sean. Vincent says he agrees. For those who missed the rant, I hate Sean Payton. I want to get that on a shirt. I just want to get a shirt that says, I hate Sean Payton. I'll get it on a sticker and put it back there. Just have it up. I hate Sean Payton. My gosh. Oh, man. Panther Bo says Dave is all noticed. You know what? It's not good. I keep waiting for the cookie to crumble, for Tepper to just get so pissed. Isn't it? I wonder, given a notice like to the major networks not to show Tepper on TV. Have we noticed like last year we saw him more, but then since the drink incidents, like he's kind of gone away. I feel like we've seen him every now and then. I will say this, speaking of Tepper, what they did, I'm saying from a personal standpoint with what they did for the state of North Carolina, the western part of the state, the concert they put on, all that hands down above and beyond. They just can't figure out the football stuff. But anyways, at some point, Tepper's going to get pissed. That's just who he is, whether it happens now, whether it happens in their little meetings. I don't know. Someone's going to have to going. I feel like it might be Ejiro Evero first. I mean, I don't know how you could call it a scapegoat. Defense is so bad. Damani Richardson, though, one positive note. I will find some positives. Damani Richardson, he looked good. We had 2 forced fumbles. Trevin Wallace had the one at the end of the game. Didn't really mean anything, but I like the effort. And then was it Shy Tuttle? Shy Tuttle had the other. And then Robinson had 2 sacks. I try to find every now and then a little bit. J.C. Horn continues the ball. Can't say enough about him. I like his attitude. I like him getting pissed off. I'm sure he's tired of winning. Folks, the gates are open, or the shopping mall is open, whatever it is. We've got a week. Anyone and everyone probably available to be traded if anybody wants to take it. Who are you going to take? I mean, we've had these conversations, like, take the Panthers starting lineup right now. And how many of these guys are even on another NFL team? Not even starting, just on another NFL team. I mean, maybe we geared that towards the defense because that's where we're the most depleted, but it's so bad. Panther Bo said, we're always rebuilding. That's it. What is it? Rebuild the roar? I don't remember what the roars thing is this year. That's how out of tune I am. Yeah, Panthers are always in a rebuild mode. What are we building and why and what? I don't know. It is so bad out here. I don't even remember what I was saying here. Under 500. Oh yeah, just under 500, being able to get our record right. So I did joke that we should just move the team. Like, that is the only. I joke we should move the team only because I am tied to this state and this team. If they moved, it gives me a chance to just be a free agent. I can go out and pick whoever I want to pull for. I could go out and pick whichever team that's winning. That's part of the reason I'm doing ACC football, man. Just to talk about something else that could be positive a little bit at all. Panther Bros said, imagine how great Horn would be if we could pressure a quarterback once, right? Felt like a little bit of a fluke when we got pressure earlier in the game. Didn't feel real. I know where I was going to go, and I got sidetracked talking about positives. Let's go back to the negatives. You can't say too positive with this team right now. I went back, and we're looking at points, the amount of points you score versus the amount of points you allow. We know this is a historically bad defense. Hey, only 28 points today, folks. 4 touchdowns. That's it. I can't believe we're celebrating 4 touchdowns. 14 points. They easily covered the spread, which I thought that would happen. I went back. I mean, I think I just tweeted it out before this, so maybe I can find the graphic so that I can be accurate with my information here. Let's see. I should have it. Yes. So the Panthers' current point differential is negative 147. So if you go up, do the math, divide that out over the course of, 8 games now? Panthers are losing games by about 18 points per game. 18.3 to be exact. Almost 3 touchdowns. Anyways, started to look into it. So if the Panthers were to hold pace with where they are right now, 18 points per game over the span of a 17-game season would be a 312 point differential. That would be the worst all time. So the 1976, and I was looking at StatMuse before this, 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers hold the record for the worst. They put lowest point differential, negative 287. That was in 1976. Man, Panthers are likely headed in that direction. Oh, man. So much to talk about. Who knew you could have so much to say about a terrible football team? I don't know. So if we're going to talk positive, we do have to talk about the wide receiver play of a few guys. And I did put this out there. If you folks will let me join the Jalen Coker hype train, I'm happy to sign up. Where's my ticket? Can I buy it? I mean, in all honesty, though, like not joking, Jalen Coker is starting to find a stride. 4 receptions, 78 yards, 19.5 per reception. He has the 1 touchdown, a chance to make a few more plays as well. You can tell Bryce Young or when Andy Dalton was in there, they're starting to find some chemistry. You talk about stock up, stock down. Jalen Coker's stock continues to rise. Panthers need guys like this. Undrafted free agent. I mean, it'd be nice if we could draft someone that performs well, but hitting on undrafted free agents, it's a key. It's a key to building. So I'll highlight that as a positive. You throw in Xavier Legette as well. We saw him 4 receptions, 34 yards, and a touchdown. I really like what we got out of him. Jatavian Sanders, not so much today on tight end day. Same thing for Tommy Trimble. If you want to know, and I may have to drop, folks, the 20-month-old is kind of stirring, so I may have to drop here in a second. Maybe we'll close this out for tonight. Plenty more time to live stream. Miles Sanders had 7 receptions for 38 yards. Miles Sanders led the team in receptions. I don't know, and I will close it out now. Unfortunately, I have to close it out early. It's 11 o'clock, so Eastern time. I don't know if this was the scheme. I don't know if it was the play calling or if it was Bryce Young, or likely a mixture of all three. I have not gone out to look at the next gen stats passing chart, but my gut tells me like Bryce was likely throwing the ball at or behind the line of scrimmage almost the entire game. To see what Andy Dalton did do when he was healthy and what Bryce did, like, it's a head scratcher, man. I don't know why he gets flustered, why he's unable to just to make a throw, like get the ball downfield. And again, I don't know if it's the play calling. It could be that Dave Canales just doesn't trust him. But if that's the case, like, what are we doing here? Like, why is he still here is really probably the bigger question that I have right now. I will say moving forward, I mean, I think personally it makes sense to start Bryce, whether you want him to or not. Like, whether you're a fan of Bryce or not, I do think you need him out there. One last run. This is it. I mean, at this point, it's not like you're going to rattle off 8 or 9 wins in a row with Andy Dalton and try to make a push for the playoffs and get to 9-8, or I don't know, 8-9 if things fall apart, or 10-7, which is way less likely than any of those. But I think you see Bryce, and this is it. It's one final push. I don't know that push is going to move the needle that much based off of what we've seen. It's tough, man. It's a tough time in Carolina. I did talk about one other thing here. Where did it go? Yeah, so Damani Richardson led the team in tackles, 11. Mike Jackson, 10. Josie Jewell, 10. Shy Tuttle, 7. I'll tell you, Denver's defense, when we talk about Bryce Young playing, the Denver defense was for real. I'd not really watched them play this year. They look good. As much as I continue to say I hate Sean Payton, they did look good. So no complaints. And like, again, you're going to be going up against pretty bad New Orleans Saints team. We know what Bryce Young did the first time around. You battle over against what will likely be a bad New York Giants team. I mean, they're definitely not good, and I don't know what they know. I don't think they know what they're doing with Daniel Jones anyway. So let me close out the comments. Oh, sorry. Let me pull this one back up. Imagine passing on Coker, right? Good move there. Panther said, did Tepper send in the cocktail napkin that just written thing? Right? Had to be. Oh, it's okay. I had someone, I tweeted out something about how Dave Canales was forced to start Andy Dalton. Oh, God, this is where I get it, 11 o'clock. He was forced to start Bryce Young this week, but it was really tied into, I was like, he was forced to start Bryce Young because Andy Dalton got hurt, which is an unfortunate situation. Someone tweeted to try to tell me I was trying to say that Andy Dalton sat and Bryce Young started because of Tepper, that was what I was implying. I was like, you were a freaking idiot. Again, no bad words, but my God. Bryce, it's a great point, man. Bryce Young did not have Deontay Johnson or Adam Thielen. He looked, I'm not going to say good, but he looked okay. Number-wise, if you go over the last few starts with Andy Dalton, compare it to Bryce Young, definitely would give the upper hand to Bryce Young. So kind of just have to roll the dice. I don't know that you're really getting anything in return. I think you're just trying to break even at this point and hope in the offseason that there's a team that's desperate. You're not going to ever get the haul that you got for Bryce, but maybe you can bribe someone into a second. I doubt it. That feels like a stretch, maybe a third or a fourth, if he's not going to be the future of the team. Hey, man. Appreciate you tuning in and appreciate everyone tuning in. It is late and I want to go, get some rest, but I appreciate it. Podcast is out. We'll have more of these now that I'm connected back, not just on YouTube. So we'll be able to stream on X. And as always, I don't know as always, keep hating Sean Payton. We're not going to do